Hey party people, this is Zach from visionswell.com, products and principles for a simple, serene life. And today I'm going to show you the way I've created a fire kit to keep in my car, to keep in my backpack when I'm camping, and just an all-around go-to fire starting setup that you can use in a variety of different scenarios to start a fire, to either purify water, keep yourself warm, or just because you want to sit around a fire and drink beers, or in my case, some kind of craft cocktail. So I picked up two EDC pouches from Viperade. The one that I didn't use for this fire kit is actually the Viperade VE1. These are both made from 500D polyester. The fabric is PVC coated and it's super durable, weather resistant, and abrasion resistant. And the VE1 retails for $15.99 US. As you can see, I have it in this nice little camo colorway. You can see the little Viperade logo that's in leather here. It has a nice zipper enclosure on the back where you can fit all kinds of things. There's no internal organization, but this means you could use it as an EDC wallet, or you could just use it to fill with things that you need to keep as far as tools go. You could put all kinds of bit drivers, screws, nails, small things that you want to zip away. And it has a nice little paracord zipper pull that has a rubberized pull tab here. Makes it really comfortable to pull it. You also have these counter pull points at the top here so that you can open and close the zipper one-handed. And you could also attach a carabiner or a lanyard here or anything you might want to on the exterior of the pouch. Then on the other side, you have some tool loops that are MOLLE webbing. So there's 3 right here. There's also 3 differently sized pockets that you could fit tools in easily. There's these skinny ones on the side and then a larger one in the middle. So if you had things like EDC knives, multi-tools, any kind of tools that you wanted to put on the outside of the pouch, you could easily do that. And then you have one large pouch at the top here that you could fit things like a notebook or very large items that don't fit into these individualized tool slots. And it's just an overall really nice pouch that you can use in a variety of different scenarios, whether you want to use it as an EDC wallet or you want to use it as a little tool pouch, a way to organize tech gear. Anything you want to do with it, this pouch could easily do, and it's made from high quality materials, and it looks really nice too. But then the one I ended up going with for this fire kit is actually the Viperade VE3. And the difference between this one and the other one is that on the VE1, you only have 1 row of the MOLLE webbing on the outside of the pouch, and this one actually has 2 rows of the MOLLE webbing. So I think for longer items that I'm using in this loadout, it made more sense to use the one with 2 loops, but they're both great choices for an EDC pouch. So let's go over everything that I have loaded out this fire kit with, and we can talk about its usefulness and why I decided to choose these things. So starting on the outside of the pouch, I have this Trustfire L5 flashlight. This is a really nice tactical flashlight. It's nice and long. It fits really well in my hand. It's made from high quality materials. It can either use 2 AA batteries, or you can also charge it with a USB-C charging port. And I like the design here where the charging port is actually hidden. So if you unscrew this little collar here, you can see that the USB-C port is right underneath of it. So then when you want to hide it away, you just screw it back the other direction. And there you go. It's hidden, it's waterproof, it's behind a nice little metal collar here. And I think that's really nice. You have a 2-way pocket clip that allows you to either deep pocket carry this flashlight, or you can put it backwards onto the brim of a hat and then you have a headlamp situation. And that makes it really versatile for all kinds of use cases when you're camping or you're in a dark place in the outdoors or indoors. It has a thumb activation button on the back, and if you kind of half press it, it goes into the strobe mode, and then you just click it to turn it off. If you single click, you can go through the different lumen levels. And this is a really powerful flashlight for its size. It goes from 15 lumens on low to 1050 lumens on high. And it has a 17 meter range on low and 176 meter range on high. So it gives you a ton of range on a somewhat compact flashlight. And it's really important to have a flashlight like this in a fire starting kit, or a flashlight of any kind, because it allows you to see in the dark. So if you're caught in the dark at a campsite alone and you need to start a fire, you may need some light until you can get the fire started, and this flashlight would do you very well in that situation. Then also on the outside of the pouch, I have this little fold away camping stove. So you can fold it open, and it has little legs on it, and you can either use those little fire tablets that this is really designed for, but it would also be easy to use little sticks and twigs to start a fire here, and then you could balance cook pots on top, or a mug. You could make tea, you could make coffee, and cook anything you need. And then I just have it attached to one of the MOLLE webbing strips with a zip tie. So it would be easy to cut this zip tie off and remove it, or even just pull it off with some force. And it's really nice to have a little way to cook things and start a little mini bonfire in your fire kit, and it allows you a lot of options for purifying water or cooking things. Then behind that, I just have a really cheap pen that I've wrapped with a ton of duct tape, and this gives me a writing implement, as well as the duct tape allows me to fix gear. If it has holes in it, I could use this to patch it. And you can also use the duct tape as a fire starter or a fire extender. So if you don't have any tinder around you or any way to extend a flame enough to get a full campfire started, you can use this duct tape. So it really comes in handy. Then behind that, I just have a full-size Bic lighter that has some additional duct tape attached to it. Again, can use that to repair gear or as a fire lighter or fire extender. And you have a Bic lighter, works the first time every time. Even if you dropped this in water, you could let it dry out and it would still allow you to light it and use it. So as long as you've got fuel in this thing, it's a really useful, dependable fire starter. Then next to that, I just have this cheap M-Tech knife. This was only $8 on Amazon, and it has a deep carry pocket clip. It's very heavy and it's very durable. It also has a glass breaker at the bottom, as well as a little hole if you wanted to attach any kind of lanyard or keychain to it. It has a nice assisted open. It functions very smoothly. I like the style of the blade, how it has the middle cut out. I know that reduces the durability of the blade, but this blade is really just a cheap blade that you would use for utility. If you wanted to carve some fat wood, even if you wanted to baton some smaller wood, it might put a lot of stress on this blade and maybe eventually break it. But I think it has a pretty strong lock on it, and it would be able to baton some smaller pieces of wood. And then the back of it comes to a right angle, so you could also use this on a ferro rod or any kind of piece of fat wood or wood to kind of scrape off some shavings there. So I think it's a really nice cheap utility knife just to keep with you. And if it breaks, it was only $8, so who really cares? Then also on the outside of this, I have a ferro rod with a nice wooden handle. And this is a really big, beefy ferro rod, so it would light a ton of different fires and last you a long time. And it also comes with this little piece of metal for striking it on the outside, and it fits perfectly against the shape of the ferro rod, so you can kind of scrape it and get sparks started. It also has a built-in bottle opener and a small little ruler on the side. And attached to the handle of it, there's just some paracord that you could use for fire starting or for tying up different things, anything you would use cordage for. And you also have a little emergency whistle that's attached to it. So if you're in a survival situation, you have a way to alert people to your presence. So I think it's important to have a lot of backup ways to start fire, and a ferro rod is a great thing to include in your kit. Then in this main pocket here, I just have a large amount of number 36 bank line. And this is really good cordage if you need to hang things over a fire, you need to build shelter, or because it's tar coated, you can actually use this as a wick. So you could use it as a fire starter, a fire extender, light the end of it, and get more usage out of the fuel you have. And then I have it tied with 2 rubber bands that you could also burn as fire starters or fire extenders. So you have a lot of different options here for how to extend your flame. Then the last thing I have in this pocket is just a little peanut lighter from CountyCom. And this is made from all copper, so it's really, really nice, high quality, heavy, dense, super durable. It has a screw top waterproof lid that has a little gasket that keeps it waterproof. It has a small wick and a little starter. You pull it out and you can put lighter fluid in the bottom here, and then you have lighter fluid, and then you just pop it back in. And when this is out of fuel, you could even use this as a small container if you wanted, and it's really high quality. You could put matches in there or something, but I just use it as a lighter. And then when it's out of fuel, you also have this little flint, so you could use this as a spark creator if you're out of fuel, so it's still useful even when it's out of lighter fluid. And then the top just screws back on, and this is just a really nice little high quality backup lighter. At the top of the bag, at this attachment point, I just have a little S carabiner that connects these two little attachment points. And it's really useful if you wanted to hang this bag somewhere or hang something else up somewhere. You have a spare carabiner with you. It's just a cheap carabiner that came with my nano bag, and I just like it because it's simple, it's easy, it's strong enough to do the tasks I need it to do, and it's a good little carabiner. Then if I flip this over, we can look at what's inside the zipper pocket. So you open this nice zipper here, and the first thing I have is just a stack of small Post-it notes. So combined with the pen, I have a way to leave notes for people if I'm in an emergency situation and I need to tell people where I am or what's going on. I can leave notes with this. And then separately, you can use these little pieces of paper as additional tinder or fire starter or fire extenders as well. And it gives you another way to start and extend fires. So it takes up almost no space, weighs almost nothing, and it's a good way to have some extra ways to start a fire. And then the last thing I have in this pocket is just these little fire plugs. So if you twist them, they're just like wax covered cotton, and it allows you to start a fire really easily. They burn a long time. They weigh nothing, they take almost no space, and it's just a nice little wax-covered fire starter that you can fit into this small pocket here, and then you have a lot of extra ways to start a fire. So that's it as far as my fire starting kit. That's made from the Viperade VE3 EDC pouch organizer. This one retails for $17.99 on Amazon, and this fire starting kit will really get you out of a jam. It gives you a ton of ways to start fires, make fires last, and also cook some food and purify water. So I think it's a really important thing to put in your camping kit, in your car, in a spare bug out bag or something like that. And it gives you the peace of mind that you have a lot of redundancy and a lot of different ways to start and maintain fires. So I think it's an important part of any kind of survival kit or emergency kit. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like EDC videos like this, and feel free to leave a comment about your EDC setup or if you have a different fire starting setup and any tools you would recommend I replace or try out myself, and I'd be happy to review them. I always go out of my way to respond to every comment, so please don't be shy about leaving comments on my videos because I really like engaging in dialogue with all of you. And with all that being said, thank you as always for watching, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Take care.